this music is cold as hell. Manic Mondays are cold as hell. We are cold as hell.
Welcome to Cold as Hell TV. Today, we're diving deep into the shadows with a Conspiracy Tok compilation. They definitely don't want you to see. From truth hidden in plain sight to the mysteries they try to bury. This is the internet's wildest, weirdest, and most mind-blowing conspiracy talk in one place. Buckle up. It's about to get cold as hell.
Weird stuff that may actually be real. I thought this was fake at first, but look closely. I don't know. Did you see the tattoo?
So there's an episode of Sesame Street that was so scary that parents wrote into the network to ask them to never show it again. And until now, it hasn't been seen since February 1976.
Makes me furious. I forgot again. Now listen, you. If you don't give me back that broom, your store is going to be more than just what when I finish with it. And furthermore, I'll turn you into a basketball. Bounce, bounce, bounce in the basket.
You can go from New York to Brazil, Buenos Aires, and then Antarctica without ever coming up to the surface for air. And you can do it all at way more than 1,000 miles an hour on magnetic levitation trains, otherwise called maglev. One thing he told me, he went from Virginia to Los Angeles in 45 minutes. Do the math, 3,000 miles an hour. Most people don't even believe that there's a tunnel network. There are there are hundreds of thousands of miles of tunnel systems.
This man, whose name is Ovaku, is an African shaman, and here we can see him preparing himself for a levitation. This will take place as soon as darkness begins to fall. The images which this film has recorded are scarcely to be credited. There are no hidden supports or pulleys to be seen. In spite of this, Ovaku actually rises off the ground, and it seems as though he is floating on a cushion of air. The German commentator cannot believe his eyes. There is no question that this is a trick or an illusion, and he's absolutely convinced that he's witnessing a miraculous event, and that the film is incontrovertible proof that levitation is indeed possible. A second cameraman can now be seen hurrying to the side so that he can get close-up pictures of the fascinating event. Could it be that there are in fact invisible fields of force which this shaman is able to take advantage of? The shaman's breathing has become unusually fast, and his face is contorted with the effort of the undertaking. Could the technique which we are witnessing here be the very same technique which is said to be practiced in India and in Tibet? Vaku then suddenly drops back down to the ground like a stone.
Have you heard the chilling theory that humans are just containers for souls? Bob Lazar, the controversial whistleblower who worked on UFO technology at Area 51, mentioned this on the Joe Rogan podcast. He claimed to have read classified documents suggesting that extraterrestrials see us as vessels, not for our bodies, but for something deeper, something they want. Lazar hinted that wars, suffering, and chaos might serve a purpose, creating the energy these beings need. What if those fleeting moments of dread, the feeling of being watched, are them observing their containers? And what if they're already here, silently pulling the strings? Our reality might be nothing more than a farm for something far beyond our understanding. Follow to uncover the terrifying truth.
Do you notice that they have the same amount of ink on them? Do you notice that they're made out of the same virtually worthless stuff? It's paper. Did you get it? It's paper. When we create money, we have created an instrument of value that has no value of its own. And it's just as expensive or inexpensive to print the 20 as it is to print the 1. I'm here to prove to you that bankers, especially in the Federal Reserve System, make multiplied trillions of dollars and never create one thing of value. Are you with me? You want to learn this or not? Are you sure? An automaker might make 1 or 2% profit. A builder might make 10% profit. But the printers of money have no limit to the amount of money they can create and the wealth that they can create for themselves.
I have this poster that exposes every conspiracy theory on the planet. Today, we will unravel the truth of the Rods of God. The Rods of God, also known as Project Thor, are a group of orbiting satellites that contain hypersonic intercontinental ballistic missiles. Developed and manufactured in the 80s, the Rods of God are a special type of projectile that uses kinetic energy. Sitting at thousands of miles above the Earth's surface when deployed, these rods can strike anywhere on the planet in under 15 minutes. When launched, they immediately pick up speeds of over 10 times the speed of sound due to Earth's gravity. Since there is no type of propulsion, it doesn't produce any electromagnetic waves, making it almost impossible to intercept. The rods can penetrate deep into the Earth's crust, making deep underground military bases ineffective. At any point throughout your day, right above your head, sits one of the most developed weapons in the United States arsenal that is capable of incomprehensible destruction.
Cameras capture a variety of moments in time, but sometimes they capture something else, something unexplained. One man from New Mexico believes he's discovered a new life form, which has spurred a worldwide debate. There is a phenomenon that exists among us, said Jose Escamilla, founder and researcher of rods. They're like sky fish. They swim through the air like fish. He first captured a strange image on his photographs back in 1994. At first I thought they were insects or birds, floating close to the lens of the camera, he said. However, at such a high shutter setting, eliminated the possibility of it being an insect or a bird, but something else, something mysterious. We think it's a living entity of some kind. It does have behavior of being alive, Escamilla. They're very evasive, they're super fast. We don't know what they're doing here. We don't know how long they've been here. Remember, the truth is out there.
Exposing Walt Disney, Part 1.
Look closely what the owl is doing. And why does the tree have devil horns? Here's another look. This is the Lion King. Watch the smoke in the sky. Notice anything strange written in it. What does that say? Look closely. If you notice it, go back and have another look. Notice the shadow. Doesn't that look very strange? Why has Disney made his head shaped like that? Looks very inappropriate to me.
There will be no internet in America on May 30th, 2025. This is because a submarine hits to the underwater cables that connect us to the world. Phones stop loading, websites and apps freeze. TV streaming services cut to black. Work computers show no connection. Online games stops working. Bank websites won't open. Social media feeds stop updating. People can't check their bank accounts or pay bills. Stores can't process credit card payments. Gas pumps won't work without network connections. Grocery deliveries stop without ordering systems. Schools can't access online learning materials. Hospitals lose access to patient records. Wall Street trading stops completely. Government services switch to paper forms. Old fax machines are pulled from storage closets. Communities gather in person instead of online. Kids rediscover board games and outdoor activities. Libraries become packed with people seeking information. What do you think of this prediction? Tell in comments.
Number 21, Sesame Street, 1976. Number 22, Thomas Chastain, 1976. Number 23, DC Comics, Starman, 1976. Number 24, Spider-Man comic, 1976. Number 25, Wonder Woman, 1976. Number 26, Richie Rich and Jackie Joker's number 16, 1976. Number 27, Marvel 2-in-1 number 59, Towering Inferno, 1976. Number 28, Close Encounters of a Third Kind, 1977.
You know the Mars theory?
That there's aliens on Mars?
Nah, there's a theory that Mars was the original planet that humans were from.
Okay.
Then something happened that we all had to fly to another planet and live on. There used to be like civilization that lived on Mars. Now back this. On Mars, there's an element on the periodic table called xenon. Xenon on Earth is only found, this is crazy, is only found after a nuclear explosion.
No.
Oh shit, that's not even the sicko mode button.
I said no.
What the hell? And it goes hand in hand now. What if on Mars there was a nuclear warfare, destroyed the whole planet, but people were able to escape just in time, landed on Earth, and they had to restart from nothing.
So we are the aliens.
We're the aliens.
What the hell? Yeah.
It's real shit. Like this element's called xenon. It's prominent after a nuclear explosion.
Truth in plain sight.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask, where the hell am I?
Long story, but I need you to follow me to the assassination floor for no reason. Let's see, where is it?
If we just take this service hallway.
Hey, who's this handsome man about town? I like the cut of your jib, fella. Me too. Me three. Let's get this party started.
This is my favorite Kardashian conspiracy theory that lives on to this day. It's Kourtney Kardashian's third child, Reign, not a Disick, but actually a Bieber. The internet believes so strongly that Justin Bieber and Kourtney Kardashian had a baby together because they had a famous rendezvous right around the time that Reign would have been conceived. Even Ellen was on her case about it.
Does Justin Bieber help with the kids at all, or?
No.
That's the rumor. I know y'all are just friends, right? Or are you really dating him?
We're friends.
You're friends?
Yes.
Why are you smiling that way?
We're friends.
The strongest piece of evidence is how shockingly similar Reign and Justin look. Before I even knew this theory, anytime I would see Reign, I would think, he looks like Justin Bieber. If he grows out his hair into the Bieber swoop and starts singing Baby and sounds just like Justin, I'm calling Maury. It's actually so fucked up because any video online of Reign gets flooded with comments about, he looks like Justin, Reign Bieber. Scott and Kourtney had a major breakup in 2014, and if you remember on the show, that's when Scott went away to rehab, so he was out of the picture for a while. Kourtney and Scott in their tumultuous relationship, though, were definitely known to seek revenge on each other. So in this picture with Justin, he's hiding the woman's face, and his caption was, Lord knows, and everyone knows Scott calls himself the Lord. Interesting, down the line, Scott got with Justin Bieber's ex, Sophia Richie, maybe a revenge thing. He's like, I can get the young hot stars too, Kourtney. This theory has been cited to allegedly get under Scott's nerves a lot, and he even allegedly asked Kourtney to get a DNA test to confirm that Reign is his, but she would not. And the craziest part of this theory is that Scott and Kourtney broke up for the final time 6 months after Reign was born. Make sure to follow to know all the best celebrity conspiracy theories because you know Patty has them.
The elites have secret tunnels all over the world. Check this out, y'all. This is the most random place to have a tunnel. The question is, what are they doing in these tunnels? Or where do they lead to? The elites have secret tunnels all over the world, y'all. People go missing in the forest all the time. Maybe, just maybe, they didn't get lost. I think some people actually stumble across these tunnels. They don't want us to know what's really going on, y'all. As always, thanks for watching. Stay weird. I'll see you in the next one.
Is down there.
Giant monsters.
And who are they and why are they here?
They're a natural defense mechanism from the planet. They've been here longer than any of us have, or since before the dinosaurs even. These are creatures that go back millions of years potentially and have been living there for a very, very long time. My personal encounter with them is they're highly intelligent, and I guarantee you a living creature that's 200 or 300 feet tall, that's, several 100,000 or a million years old, has a consciousness that probably defies understanding from me or you anyway.
How long have they been here?
Millions of years. Probably even maybe since the beginning of the planet.
Could you give me an example of what one of these giants looked like?
Sure. I've only had one personal experience that I can relate. While I have been briefed on the subject and I could describe a few other things, I only have one personal experience that I was there for, saw with my own eyes, and experienced with my own 5 senses. So if you want to imagine something that resembles a big furry primate, maybe like a sloth that walks on its hands and is covered with hair that looks like giant dreadlocks.
How tall do you think, could you estimate?
I would estimate that it was probably between 250 and 300 feet tall.
How do they grow to such an extreme size, and why aren't we not seeing them on the surface?
Well, I think we're talking about pre-primordial time, so we're talking about before the dinosaurs, when plants and animals were even larger. So I think we're just talking about they came from a time when biological life grew bigger.
These are the wildest what-if theories I've ever heard. The last one will turn your brain upside down. What if when we die, the light at the end of the tunnel is a light to a hospital room? We are born, and the reason we come crying out is because we remember we died and lost everything in our past life. What if we used to be able to make wishes, but someone wished we could? I said we find them and junk them. What if the world actually ended in 2012 as many people thought, and everything since that year has been a dream? Well, wake me up, I'm tired of bills. What if Mr. Krebs is Pearl's sugar daddy, which is why she's always calling him daddy and asking him for money? That makes a lot of sense. What if our entire universe is just in a tiny glass jar, placed neatly on a shelf in an alien child's room as science project? Or the Big Bang in our universe can just be one big fart that some creature just let out and time is different in their world. But right now, it seems like it's been billions of years, but a narrow world that's been like 2 seconds. What if you're the only human on Earth and the rest of the population you see is just your imagination playing tricks on you?
A show on Netflix known for telling the truth. This episode talks about Flat Earth and Agartha.
You have to leave.
Does this mean that we're not going to the edge of the Earth? But I wore my best fanny pack.
Okay, sirs. My father tricked you. He does not think that the Earth is flat. He was just using you to get to our boat.
You lied to us? But we were so close, like the North Pole and the South Pole. Oh, come on. You don't actually think the Earth is flat, right? Of course I do. Why would YouTube lie to me? Because that's how they get rich? I find that hard to believe.
Look, if you agree to go, then I'll let you in on a secret. The Earth is not flat, but it is hollow. We put this cap on it to keep krakens from eating people's boats.
Enough! You sphere mongers have been talking down to us flat earthers for years. Yeah!
Harold, YouTube and Joe Rogan are lying for your money and attention. Most conspiracies are just capitalism.
Reagan, I'm going to a land down under.
Harold, wait! Listen, this is not the Earth's edge. This is the portal to the Earth's core. Remember the sea monsters on old maps? They're down there!
Okay, what do I look like, an idiot? Good day, May!
Don't feel bad, darling. He's in a better place now.
Come on, totally. Mole people, they're like 4 feet tall. We'll treat him like he's a king.
Have you heard about the Agartha Network conspiracy theory? It's the idea that the Earth is hollow and a secret society called the Agartha Network lives inside. They supposedly have advanced technology and supernatural powers, and control major events in human history from underground. Some people even believe the entrance to their world is in Antarctica. But there's no scientific evidence to support this theory, and it's widely regarded as a conspiracy with no basis in fact. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.
Welcome to Media Manipulation and Subliminal Messages, where we invent bullshit to keep people distracted. Who do you think invented the minions? Look what happens when you slow it down.
Nah, I want to kill my parents anyway. Not impressed.
Maybe you'll find this news to your liking.
We interrupt the president's perfect speech to bring you this breaking news. A recent poll finds that Reagan Ridley looks incredible in that ponytail. We're all talking about it.
Fair and balanced.
I just named our newest high-velocity missile after you. What do you want to blow up? Pick a country, any country. Finland's been pretty full of themselves lately.
Woof, this is bleak.
Do you not like it? Code Red, show her Plan B.
I don't hate this.
Celebrity Conspiracy Theories Part 3. So, we're going to talk about Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen DeGeneres was once loved by millions and was almost like the nation's sweetheart or the world's sweetheart worldwide. But she recently had a fall from grace because new information came to light about her being horrible to staff, horrible to contestants, and just not a nice person in general. Now, it's up to you what you want to believe, but this is just information that has come to light. There's a theory that all the elites in the world and everyone that's in the are related. Ellen DeGeneres has a very unusual family tree. So it says that she is a distant relative of Jane Seymour, who became the third wife of Henry VIII. She's also related to Amelia Earhart and a few other names there. She's also related to Kate Middleton. And there's speculation that her name is actually Rothschild, due to documents that have been found. Like for more.
There will be no internet in America on May 30th, 2025. This is because a submarine hits to the underwater cables that connect us to the world. Phones stop loading, websites and apps freeze. TV streaming services cut to black. Work computers show no connection. Online games stops working. Bank websites won't open. Social media feeds stop updating. People can't check their bank accounts or pay bills. Stores can't process credit card payments. Gas pumps won't work without network connections. Grocery deliveries stop without ordering systems. Schools can't access online learning materials. Hospitals lose access to patient records. Wall Street trading stops completely. Government services switch to paper forms. Old fax machines are pulled from storage closets. Communities gather in person instead of online. Kids rediscover board games and outdoor activities. Libraries become packed with people seeking information. What do you think of this prediction? Tell in comments.
Disney signs you probably missed. In DuckTales, we see this poster in the back. Ask about Illuminati. Oh no. 101 Dalmatians. This sign right here. Oh no. In The Lion King. Oh no. Who would do this? All of these references to 666. You see it here, you see it here. Oh no. This one's a stretch, but you can read that. Oh no, 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 no. You see Hans in the Wanted poster back here in Big Hero 6. That one's not bad.
Dowsing rods are picking up on the vibrations of the earth. That's what dowsers would do. They'd go out with their rods and they'd pick up on the vibrations or oscillations of water, oil, gold, silver, natural gas. All of those things we're running out of, they're all unlimited underneath our feet. Dowsers would go out there and find them based on the oscillations or spin that is coming out from the earth. So there's all this energy that's underneath us, and we need to tap into that. And the biggest companies who hire dowsers are Big Oil and Big Electric. But they tell us this is all woo-woo. It's all woo-woo and pseudoscience and quackery. But then Big Oil and Big Electric uses it. But that's the thing, when you look at all of this, you know, it's being told woo-woo because they want you to disconnect from learning these topics. That's what it is. And they want you to take things at face value for what you're shown and believe that we're running out of this and you need carbon taxes and you need all these things that you don't need and you need to take a couple of these and whatever it may be. You know, all this stuff.
Everything vibrates at a frequency, and if you know that frequency, you can control things. This is the moth, and this is diagramming all the frequencies of the elements and what their vibrational frequencies are and the numbers that measure those frequencies. And they're all the numbers we get from looking at these ancient traditions that recur over and over and over again.
And so through this technology, they're able to move stones or cut stones or all the above?
All the above.
We call these transducers, which is just a fancy word for speakers. These speakers, they only work at one frequency, and this frequency is 40 kilohertz, which we shouldn't be able to hear. Only bats, dogs, and other animals should be able to hear 40 kilohertz. But because the ultrasound is so powerful, if we put some particles, they should be kept in midair with the power of sound. And all these things that they are just being like kept there with air, actually it's not air, it's the ultrasound pushing them from all directions. Scientists already knew that sound waves create oscillating pockets of pressurized air, which can produce a force on an object capable of counteracting the pull of gravity. But while ultrasound levitation devices do exist, they all rely on standing waves created when two sound waves of the same frequency are emitted from opposite directions and superimposed on one another. That means all previous devices require two sets of transducers.
Yo, the glitter conspiracy is a rabbit hole you are not ready for. So I didn't know this, but there's legit only like 2 main manufacturers of glitter in the world, both of which are based in New Jersey, of all places. And yes, I'm talking like regular glitter, the same stuff you use in arts and crafts. One of these companies is like super secret and private, that apparently invented glitter themselves and is very hush-hush about everything. And the other is GlitterX. No one really thought much of it until it came out that we actually have a worldwide shortage of glitter back in 2018. Kind of a weird thing to be short of. So a journalist from the New York Times went in to interview the team at GlitterX to find out. She casually asked if she could tour the factory, and surprisingly, GlitterX told her absolutely not. Like, there was no debate about it. She was strictly not allowed to see how glitter was made, and wasn't even allowed to be in a nearby room to even hear how it's made. So instead, she was just left to interview a manager at the company, and things just kept getting sketchier. She asks the manager if she could tell her what industry serves as her biggest market, and the GlitterX rep instantly, without hesitation, tells her, "No, I absolutely cannot tell you." Confused, the journalist asks her if she knows who their biggest customer is, and she replies with, "Oh god, yes, and you would never guess it. Let's just leave it at that." Asking why she can't talk about it, she responds by saying because they don't want anyone to know that it is glitter, and that if you looked at it, you wouldn't even know that it's glitter. The journalist then asks if you'd even be able to see the glitter at all in the finished product, to which the manager replies, "Oh, you'd be able to see something, but it's, yeah, I can't." And this interview single-handedly sparked the great glitter rabbit hole of the internet. Apparently, these clients that purchase glitter are all under a very strict confidentiality clause with GlitterX. They really do not want people to know that their products are made from the sparkly stuff. The industry these products are part of is clearly massive, yet no one knows what it is. So what even is glitter? By definition, it is aluminum metallized polyethylene terephthalate, essentially plastic that has been aluminized and shredded into tiny specks that sparkle. And it's used in a lot of things, from credit cards, passports, currency, football helmets, cosmetics, jet skis, granite countertops, even toothpaste, allegedly. But none of these are quite big enough to be this top industry buyer of glitter. One of the leading theories is that this biggest glitter industry is for boat paint, which many manufacturers do admit they use it in their boats. And they don't want people to know about it because of how much microplastics in the glitter these boats are really dumping into the ocean, which is a hot topic these days and is why they'd want to keep it such a secret. Others claim that it's being dumped into beaches to make the sand sparkle, or that it's just Crest toothpaste and we're rubbing the microplastics directly into our gums, as well as for use in military applications, which would obviously be highly classified, and this is where the theory takes an unexpected turn. Remember that super secret company that basically founded glitter, the other New Jersey company that isn't GlitterX? Turns out they're actually not as big of a secret as they'd like to be, called Meadowbrook Inventions, which was founded by Henry F. Rushman, a German-American machinist who invented modern glitter in the 1930s, and also happened to be part of the Manhattan Project, the highly classified operation that created the atom bomb. So the guy who invented glitter also helped create the world's first nuclear weapon. Who would have known? Meadowbrook's machines that make glitter are also commonly used for government contracts for products like rocket fuel, airplane brake shoes, and anti-radar chaff, which are chopped up fibers they shoot out of military planes that can block radar, redirect heat-seeking missiles, and can even be used to simulate poor weather conditions on radar. Good thing the government would never do that. Henry W. Rushman, the son of the original creator, was interviewed and even admitted to what they were really using glitter for all these years, specifically mentioning money, passports, toothpaste, and all those military applications like that anti-radar chaff, and even mentioned it was used in special batteries they produced for a military contractor called Picatinny Arsenal. Batteries that he claimed produce more electricity than any other battery we've ever known, and was pretty quiet about it after that. If there's anything we've learned about the government, it's that they love spending money, and their budget budget is essentially endless, especially if it's for the military. And given all these military uses of glitter, as well as its founder's roots in the Manhattan Projects and connection to atomic bombs, this one might be our answer. What other industry could be so secret that the New York Times article described it as CIA levels of obfuscation? How about the CIA itself? Perhaps once again the government is behind it all, using the same sparkly powder found in children's art projects for military applications, fighter jets, rocket fuel, money, and passports. Possibly even some new high-tech super battery they don't want the rest of us to know about. What a plot twist that would be if glitter of all things ends up being the government's top secret weapon to control the masses.
Here's some of the greatest conspiracy theories of all time. Part 4. The Grinch has a well-known backstory about hating Christmas. However, eventually in the movie, his heart grows 3 sizes and he loves Christmas once again. But this story may continue longer than we think. It is clear that the Grinch isn't exactly right in the head, but during one of the Grinch's wacky stunts, he could have gotten a head injury. This injury would later take a toll on him as he grew old and caused him to lose his memory. After him and his dog died, they were given a new life in a realm called Halloween Town, where they now lived as Jack Skellington and Zero. He later reunites with his love for Christmas, just like he had when he was alive. Both eventually wear a Santa suit, both deliver presents, and both have a doll companion. It may be possible that How the Grinch Stole Christmas and The Nightmare Before Christmas are tied together.
So 1893, copper weather vanes. And I always talk about copper. Always wearing copper, always telling you guys about copper, benefits of copper, drinking out of copper, the whole shabeel. Now what's interesting is all the weather vanes were made out of copper. Now copper is a very conductive material. So if you think about the lightning, if we think about this correctly, you wouldn't want to place a conductive material on top of your house unless you're trying to turn your house into a conductor. So these are made out of copper. Now what's interesting is, this is Copper Weather Vanes J.W. Fiske. And what's interesting is he says, purchase no vanes, I'll show you, purchase no vanes unless made of sheet copper, brass, or mounted on brass tubing. Now what's interesting about that is those are all conductive materials to make a battery. So you're placing these on top of the house, which are considered weather vanes, which would create brass, creates a battery once it's wet. So it's interesting that all of these are placed on top. Now, what's interesting is when you get into all of these, look at these designs, okay? Like, look at this. Look at that design. That is remarkable. Like, look at the detail and everything else. What's even crazier about this is some of these are like 3 feet long. Some of them are 6 feet long. Some of them are 6 feet wide. Here's an interesting one. That's Mercury. What do we all know about Mercury? Mercury conducts. And that is the Statue of Liberty. And what's interesting is it says that this is 33 inches high and 4 feet across, mounted on top of your home, made of pure copper and gilded leaf. Gilded leaf is gold. It's gold leaf. It's gold in a leaf form. It's like this little tiny like leaves. And then you have copper. Those are 2 conductive materials. If you look into the ferro rods, which are made out of copper and gold, and you hold them in your hands, those are the exact same things. So when you look at these weather vanes, you know, you sit there and say, as somebody just said, they must be so heavy. Exactly. That's where this gets really fascinating, because if you think of this thing, if this thing is full...
He took a whole bunch of these bug wings and he glued them to like a Venetia blind structure, and he put it into a little platform he built. So they were all... These bug wings were all covered in here, and he used I theorize he used the wing covers as well as the inner wing itself. There's also a kind of a handlebar on this thing with some controls. You can see the thing a little better here in detail. The controls, I think, had to be manipulated continuously and probably vibrated to create the same action that the bug was doing. There's also down at the base some kind of a lever, which I suspect controlled the amount of lift he was getting out of this thing. Anyway, Grebennikov claimed that he could fly this thing, or levitate it, and it would go around at almost 1,000 miles an hour. Now you ask, how can that happen? You know, well, he said that there there was an energy field that built up around this thing due to this gravity field building up in the platform. And by this thing building up, it built out a force field that basically surrounded him and protected him from the local environment. So even though he was flying at 1,000 miles an hour, you could go, you could be wearing your Sunday best suit and not get it flutter a bit at 1,000 miles an hour.
Here's the dark truth behind The Wizard of Oz. The actress that played Dorothy, Judy Garland, was actually drugged and molested during filming. She was also given adrenaline shots so that she could stay up to sometimes more than 48 hours in a row. And there was also reports that she was molested and sexually harassed by both the Munchkin actors and studio executives. The actress that plays the Wicked Witch also got horrifically burned on set. In this scene where the Wicked Witch escapes Munchkin Land in a plume of smoke, the pyrotechnics team accidentally set off the explosion a little too early, which caused the actress's broom, hat, and makeup to catch on fire. Medics had to use alcohol to remove her toxic makeup, which was extremely painful due to her burns. And the fake snow in this scene was made using asbestos, which causes cancer.
The Hutchison effect has been characterized as a lift and disrupt system, or a collection of effects that include the levitation of various materials, along with the molecular distortion and disruption of metals, plastics, and organic compounds. On various occasions, John Hutchison has demonstrated the levitation of heavy objects, including wrenches, blocks, tools, and even an antique cannonball weighing dozens of pounds, and documented changes in the structural composition and density for a wide variety of metals, including copper, iron, steel, and aluminum. John provided samples of various metals affected by the Hutchison effect to Dr. Hathaway transcribed graphs highlighting the anomalies for John, which we'll be reviewing in detail.
Explosive. West Coast shit, my nigga rich was a track. Girls that used to turn they back, causing me to yank they arm and pose like I would do them all. Now I'm saying thank you cause they tell me my shit's the bomb. Explosive.
Hello, sir. Over for you. And the Gabagalawa, you know how much is it? $1 million. Getting for you? Yeah, will be 1 million. Over for you. The vanilla ice cream, so it goes, is it? Round like that, right? Over for sir. Enjoy, boss. Over for you, her. And the Gabagalawa, so it goes, 100 guys. I can't believe now. Welcome to this, sir. Please, man. Enjoy, boss. Over for you, her. And the Gabagalawa. This for you, please. Another one, please. So it goes, 100 guys. I can't believe now. Super. Wow, enjoy, please. Enjoy, sir. Thank you.
It is time that we change that equation and start doubling down on the protection of the homeland. Golden Dome is a bold and aggressive approach to hurry up and protect the homeland from our adversaries. We owe it to our children and our children's children to protect them and to afford them a quality of life that we have all grown up enjoying. Golden Dome will afford that. I greatly appreciate your
Have you seen this? Let me explain.
These are 3,500-year-old balls representing the Platonic solids centuries before Plato invented them. The Platonic solids are the framework for energy to flow to make the shapes that we see around us every day. This is the hydrogen version of that. Now, you probably learned the periodic table of elements using this shitty confusing thing. This is how we view it vibrationally. The top is the gases, and these are the heavier elements down here. Now, the more energy you add to the system, the more complex the geometry gets. Now, we illustrate this in spheres. Think about like a molecule diagram, how you learn that. But there's internal geometry I showed you in cymatics. Now, this is a DNA strand. That is the top-down view of the DNA strand. It looks a lot like a mandala. That's because that mandala represents a frequency that you can resonate with. You experience this phenomenon in music. You experience a stimulus in the environment, let's say like a breakup. The stimulus creates a feeling, which is just a chemical or molecule, and then these sad tones will then resonate with those molecules. I think that's how it works.
So that's incredible. Now this isn't that one, no. But you're going to see how that sound affects matter. Watch the glass. And now look at the metal, the steel. Just that's incredible, isn't it? No, I'm telling you, if you've got the resonant frequency of the glass and the steel, literally the glass would shatter, the metal will start to fly apart if you've got the right resonant frequency of that car. And if he drives around in that car with that music blaring, eventually that car's just going to fall apart.
Everything vibrates at a frequency, and if you know that frequency, you can control things. This is the moth, and this is diagramming all the frequencies of the elements and what their vibrational frequencies are and the numbers that measure those frequencies. And they're all the numbers we get from looking at these ancient traditions that recur over and over and over again.
And so through this technology, they're able to move stones or cut stones or all the above?
All the above.
We call these transducers, which is just a fancy word for speakers. These speakers, they only work at one frequency, and this frequency is 40 kilohertz, which we shouldn't be able to hear. Only bats, dogs, and other animals should be able to hear 40 kilohertz. But because the ultrasound is so powerful, if we put some particles, they should be kept in midair with the power of sound. And all these things that they are just being like kept there with air, actually it's not air, it's the ultrasound pushing them from all directions.
Scientists already knew that sound waves create oscillating pockets of pressurized air, which can produce a force on an object capable of counteracting the pull of gravity. But while ultrasound levitation devices do exist, they all rely on standing waves created when two sound waves of the same frequency are emitted from opposite directions and superimposed on one another. That means all previous devices require two sets of transducers.
TikTok creator develops magnetic levitation devices.
Made it this far, you're officially part of the Cold as Hell crew. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a drop. We've got way more conspiracy talks on the way, the kind they hope you never see. Stay woke, stay sharp, because this reality we're living in, it's cold as hell.